What's going on, guys? This is another episode here of Nolan's Pod. Today we're gonna get right into it. Playoff basketball. The first round of the whole playoffs. The first round was nothing but spectacular. Great basketball, great entertainment, great to just sit back and watch. First round has come and gone. We move on to the second round. This second round, game ones. You had these number one seeds, number two seeds. Um, they lost their game ones. The number one seeds lost their game one. Boston is not a number one seed; they're number two seed. They lost their game ones. One thing that I don't want to hear about these number one seeds is, oh, they took care of their business and they got the rest. And then the other teams that these number one seeds are playing, they're coming off of playing a couple of days ago and they're ready to go. They're not well rested. That's no excuse. These number one seeds should have taken care of business. It don't matter if you're rusty because of the rest. It does not matter. These teams that played a couple of days ago, they're obviously ready to go because they've been playing a lot of basketball and they were just ready to go. I don't want to hear teams being rusty because they had all these days off, especially these number one seeds. Because Cleveland, yeah, they started off kind of slow when they played Indiana, but Cleveland had Cleveland had their largest lead. They had a 4-point lead, and they kind of took control of the third quarter. They let it slip away because Indiana was playing good ball. Boston, last night, Boston had a 20-point lead in the third quarter, and it looked like they were going to win, and they were in control of that game. They had a lot of momentum, and they let a 20-point lead slip away. OKC, they kind of started off a little bit slow against Denver last night, and they had a good lead that they just took control of that game, especially end of the first quarter, going into the second quarter. OKC took control of that game, but that game was also OKC would go up by like 10 points, and then Denver would cut it down. OKC would go right back up again. Denver would cut the lead. OKC also had control of that game. They let it slip away, especially the second half. They let it slip away. So I don't want to hear that these teams were rusty. I don't want to hear that the rest affected them. I don't want to hear that. And the reason why I don't want to hear that because I just gave it to y'all. I just gave it to you guys. Boston was in control of that game. OKC was in control of their game. Cleveland at one point in that third quarter was in control of that game, and they let Indiana still stick around. These number one seeds, number two seeds, they were in control of their own destiny in game ones, and they all lost on their home floor. That's rare that you see these top seeds lose, especially game one on their home floor. That's very rare in history of the playoffs that you see that happen. But all three of the top seeds, except for Boston, which is the number two seed, which they're really a top seed too, all three of those teams lost their game ones at home on their home floor. That's crazy. I want to get into Indiana, Cleveland first, and then we'll end on Boston because I'm still hot about Boston and what they did last night. So Cleveland, Indiana. I've told you guys all year long, I think Cleveland's a good team. They are a good team. Make no mistake about it. But I told y'all, I don't believe in Cleveland. I told y'all they are fake contenders. I told y'all that. I still stand by that. And y'all might say, oh, I don't want to hear, oh, it's game one. It's okay. No, it's not okay. Boston, it's not okay. Cleveland, is not okay. OKC is not okay. That game one, we just lost one game approach thing. That is not okay. And if that's how y'all gonna think about it, man, I pray for y'all. Obi Toppin, 7 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 for 6 from the field. TJ McConnell, 7 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists. Benedict Mathurin, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 for 10 from the field, and 3 for 5 from 3. You know the Pacers have a strong bench. Those three guys that I just told y'all, they had an okay game, not, a game that we would expect those three guys to have, but they had okay games. they held their own, and it was enough as far as the bench scoring goes. Miles Turner, 13 points, 11 rebounds, 1 assist, 5 from 9 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3 from Miles Turner. Aaron Nesmith was huge when Indiana needed him the most. 17 points, 8 rebounds, 5 for 8 from the field, and he was 4 for 6 from downtown. Aaron Nesmith hit timely threes, and he also had to go down there on the other end and guard Donovan Mitchell. That's not an easy thing to do either. So Aaron Nesmith, he got after it defensively, and he hit timely threes when Indiana needed him the most. He's been that dog for Indiana all year long, and he continues to do that. Pascal Siakam, 17 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 6 for 15 from the field, 2 for 5 from 3. Andrew Nembhard, 23 points, 6 assists, 7 for 10 from the field, 5 for 6 for 3. Andrew Nembhard with another Andrew Nembhard type game. Very efficient offensively, and he's going to give you the assist. He had 6 assists. And he also did a good job at times when he needed to guard Donovan Mitchell. When he needed to guard Sam Merrill or Max Strus, Nembhard held his own defensively. Tyrese Halliburton, 22 points, 13 assists, 3 rebounds, 9 for 15 from the field, 2 for 6 from long range. Halliburton does what he does. He's going to give you 20-plus points. He's going to give you 10-plus rebounds. 10-plus assists. 22 points, 13 assists, 9 for 15 from the field. That's a Tyrese Halliburton type game right there. For Cleveland, Ty Jerome, 21 points, 8 assists, 3 rebounds, 8 for 20 from the field and 1 for 4 from long range for Ty Jerome. Ty Jerome should not be taking 20 field goal attempts, especially in a playoff game. But no Darius Garland. That has hurt Cleveland tremendously. Obviously, in this game 1, that hurt them. In the Miami series, when Darius Garland missed the 2 games, that didn't hurt them. Game 1, it hurt them missing him. DeAndre Hunter, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 for 8 from the field, 1 for 2 from long range. Max Strus, 7 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 from 9 from the field, and 2 for 8 for 3. Sam Merrill, who got the start for Darius Garland, only 6 points on 2 threes. He had 4 assists and 4 rebounds to Sam Merrill. Jared Allen, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 6 for 7 from the field. Evan Mobley, 20 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 9 for 13 from the field, 2 for 5 from 3. Donovan Mitchell, 33 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 13 for 30 from the field, and 1 for 11 from downtown. All right, as I just mentioned to you guys, not having Darius Garland was huge in this series for Cleveland. Huge in this game for Cleveland, I should say. Last series, when Darius Garland missed the last 2 games, as I just told you guys, it didn't matter because they played Miami. They were going to beat Miami without Darius Garland anyway. In this second round, going against Indiana, they need Darius Garland scoring. They need his scoring. And they missed him tremendously because if Ty Jerome is taking 20 field goal attempts and only hitting 8, and even though he had 21 points and 8 assists, that's not efficient. They need Darius Garland in this series. And you know how Indiana plays, man. We know how Indiana plays. They like to get up the floor, and they like to run, and they play with a lot of pace. And if you don't match their energy, and you don't match their pace, and you don't get back on defense after a made basket, that's Indiana's going to hurt you tremendously. And there was a lot of times in game 1 the other night that Cleveland would make a basket, but they wouldn't get back. And Indiana's off and running. They're out in transition. They're getting the ball up the floor, and Cleveland's not stopping the ball, and they're not getting back. Against Indiana, you have to stop the ball. You have to get back because they're looking to score. Just like that, in 7 seconds or less, they're looking to score the ball. And Cleveland has to do a better job of being physical with Indiana. They wasn't physical with Indiana, but Cleveland also has to do a better job of communicating on defense and making sure they get back. And then another thing, Cleveland has to do a better job of guarding the 3-point line. When Indiana hits 19 threes, Indiana was 19 to 36 from 3-point range. That tells you everything you need to know. Cleveland did not do a good job of defending the 3-point line. Also, when Indiana is shooting 53% from the field, that's not good. All year long, Cleveland's defense has been very, very good defensively. They didn't guard the 3-point line well, and they also didn't guard the paint well. Allowing a team to shoot 53% in the playoff game is not good. And Kenny Atkinson said, we did not do a good job with our physicality. And he was right. They didn't. Also, when Cleveland only hits 9 threes, and they were 9 for 38 for three-point range, that's 23%. That's not good. They only hit 9 threes. That was Cleveland's fewest three-pointers made in the game all season long. Cleveland picked the wrong time to make their fewest three-pointers in the game. And obviously, they picked the wrong time to do that. Indiana was 14 to 15 from the free throw line. That's 94%. Cleveland was 13 or 18 from the free throw line. That's 72%. Indiana got after defensively. They had 9 blocks. The Cleveland's 1. Indiana had 17 turnovers to Cleveland's 8 turnovers. But the key with that is Indiana scored 22 points off the Cleveland Cavaliers' 8 turnovers. You have to take care of the ball. And Cleveland only had 8 turnovers. Indiana only had 17 turnovers. But Indiana was able to score 22 points off those Cavs' 8 turnovers. Even though they had 8 turnovers, 22 points scored off that, that also means that when you turn the ball over, you don't get a chance for your defense to get set. And that's why Indiana was able to get out and score those points off the turnovers. I'm really concerned about Cleveland, especially when I hear that Darius Garland still might not play the next game tonight. He might not play game 2. DeAndre Hunter dislocated his thumb on a play that he was going to the hole that should have been a foul call on Benedict Mathurin that wasn't called. He's questionable for tonight. He might not play. Evan Mobley is also questionable tonight. Evan Mobley sprained his ankle when he stepped on Miles Turner's foot. So you have 3 key guys that might not play tonight in a crucial game 2 that Cleveland needs to get. If Cleveland does not hit their threes, if they're not going to get back and defend, and if they're going to allow Indiana to just shoot all these 3 balls and make them, Cleveland's going to be in a lot of trouble if they don't play defense. Cleveland picked the wrong time to not play defense, and it hurt them. I thought in the third quarter when Donovan Mitchell started taking over and Cleveland got that small 4-point lead, I was like, okay, the crowd's on their feet. Cleveland took control of this game. They had the momentum. Indiana did not go away. You have to give Rick Carlisle and his coaching staff a lot of credit for the fight that this team had in it. They didn't go away. They didn't shy away from the moment. And they're also playing with no pressure. The pressure is on Cleveland to win this series. All the pressure is on Cleveland to win this series. All Indiana did was came in and played the Indiana Pacers type game, and they got out of there with game 1 with the win. My only concern for Indiana, how do you come out and play tonight? Do you settle for the 1-1 tie and know that you're going back home 1-1 at least? Or do you go out and play your butts off and try to get game 2? I don't think Indiana's going to hit close to 23s tonight. If they do, so be it. That means Cleveland probably didn't play good defense then. If they're going to do that again tonight. I don't see it. I don't see Indiana hitting all those threes like that. Maybe it might flip to the Cleveland Cavaliers side, and maybe they might hit 19 threes, and Indiana might struggle for 3. But Cleveland, y'all have to play defense. Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. Evan Mobley had a good game, 20 and 10. I'll take that. Jared Allen, you should always have a double-double. 12 points and 5 rebounds for Jared Allen is not going to cut it. Jared Allen needs to have close to 18 points and about 12 rebounds. 12 and 5 is not going to cut it for Jared Allen. Also, my concern with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley is y'all didn't get after it defensively. In the paint, Indiana should be getting all these points in the paint. Even though Indiana only had 38 points in the paint to Cleveland 70, they shouldn't even be getting in the paint like they did in game 1. Jared Allen and Evan Mobley are the twin towers. Y'all should be impacting the interior and playing better interior defense. And Cleveland's perimeter defense obviously was not good. We know that already. Y'all gonna have to play better. Donovan Mitchell was 1 for 11 from 3. And one thing about Donovan Mitchell, he was 1 for 11 from downtown. Okay, cool. Third quarter, he started taking over because he was attacking. Somebody please tell that to Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, please, as we transition over to that series. with the Knicks in Boston. Somebody please tell Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum what Donovan Mitchell did when his 3-ball wasn't going. In the third quarter, he started getting to the rim. He started attacking. He started going to the free throw line and seeing the ball go through the basket by attacking and going to the line, by attacking and getting to the paint, by his mid-range jump shot. Mid-range is still a thing. I hope y'all know that. That's what Donovan Mitchell started doing. So let's get into that series. Knicks, Boston. Boston had a comfortable 20-point lead third quarter. We know that Boston's going to live and die by the 3. We also know that when Boston is on for 3, they're unbeatable. But we also know that when Boston starts missing 3s, they're one-dimensional. They don't have, when they don't shoot the 3 well and they're not making it, it's like they forget how to play basketball. Boston is a very one-dimensional team. When they're not hitting those 3s, you can beat Boston. When they hitting those 3s, unbeatable. Boston only knows how to play one way. They live and they die by the 3. And if they're not falling, they're going to keep taking them. Bad coaching job last night by Joe Mazzulla. I'm sorry that I have to say it like that, but terrible coaching job by Joe Mazzulla. There's plenty of times last night Joe Mazzulla could have called timeout and say, okay, our 3-ball's not working. I'm going to drop a couple of plays to get Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to the basket. Or I'm going to drop a couple of plays to get Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum an easy mid-range jump shot. It was a lot of times last night where Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum had a mismatch. They had Jalen Brunson on him, or they had another slower defender like Mitchell Robinson or Karl-Anthony Towns on him. And you know what they did? Instead of putting their head down, trying to get to the basket, they're still settling for the long-range jump shot, and it was not falling. When you are the height of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, 6'8", 6'9", 6'7", get your big body down there. You got a mismatch on you. Go attack the basket. Go draw a foul. Go get to the rim. Get to the free throw line so you can see the ball go through the basket. That opens up everything. That opens up your jump shot when you attack the basket and you get to the free throw line. You've seen the ball go through the basket. That way you feel more confident about your jump shot. And it's not just Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Derek White also fired up a lot of 3s and didn't really hit a lot of them either. But, man, we had to get a New York Knicks credit for fighting in that game, man. The Boston Celtics were up 20 in the third quarter. The Knicks did not give up. They kept battling. And, you know, when you have the clutch player of the year with Jalen Brunson, you're never out of a game. Deuce McBride off the New York Knicks bench had 8 points, Deuce McBride had 11 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 for 8 from the field, 3 for 6 for downtown for Deuce McBride. He hit 3 big threes off the New York Knicks bench at Deuce McBride. Miles Bridges, 8 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 for 13 from the field, 2 for 5 for 3. Miles Bridges, they're obviously going to need you. You were a no-show in Game 1. They're still going to need you in Game 2 and beyond. They're going to need you. So, even though y'all won this game, Mikal Bridges, you're going to have a better game than that. Josh Hart, 14 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 for 9 from the field, 1 for 5 for 3. OG Anunoby, huge game, 29 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 10 for 20 from the field, and OG Anunoby hit 6 big threes. OG Anunoby hit 6 timely big threes when they needed him the most to hit it. He did it. And he was attacking the rim and getting to the basket. Karl-Anthony Towns, 14 points, 13 rebounds, 6 for 13 from the field, and 0 for 1 from downtown. Obviously, Karl-Anthony Towns was in foul trouble. Even though the Knicks still Game 1, Cat, you can't get in foul trouble. And Cat, you cannot give the New York Knicks 14 and 13. That's not going to cut it in this series. So the Knicks, y'all got out of there with 1, and that's good. But Mikal Bridges and Cat, y'all going to have to be better. They know that. Jalen Brunson, 29 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 9 for 23 from the field, and 5 from 9 from long range. No, Jalen Brunson was not efficient, and he did struggle the first 3 quarters. But from the 4th quarter in overtime, Jalen Brunson just completely took over that game, 4th quarter in overtime. He took over that game. The clutch player of the year did what the clutch player of the years do. He took over when the New York Knicks needed him to take over the most, and he needed to be clutch, and he was clutch. He does it all the time. They throw Drew Holiday at him. They throw Derek White at him. They throw Jason Tatum at him. They throw Jaylen Brown at him. Doesn't matter. Jalen Brunson killed it for a quarter overtime. Hats off to that young man. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Jason Tatum, 23 points, 16 rebounds, 6 assists, 7 for 23 from the field, 4 for 15 from downtown. Jaylen Brown, 23 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 7 from 20 from the field, 1 for 10 from downtown for Jaylen Brown. Derek White, 19 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 6 for 18 from the field for Derek White, and 5 of 16 from downtown. Drew Holiday, 16 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 7 for 14 from the field, and 2 for 7 from downtown. Another thing that hurt the Boston Celtics, Kristaps Porzingis did not play in the second half because of an illness. That's a huge concern. Obviously, when they don't have Porzingis, they are a much different team also. But that does not take away the fact that Boston, y'all firing up all these threes and not hitting them, and y'all still doing the same thing. Keep launching them until it falls, and it wasn't falling. Y'all not trying to get to the basket. Y'all are one-dimensional offensively. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum did not take advantage of their mismatches, and Joe Mazzulla, poor coaching job. And obviously, from game 2 on, the Boston Celtics, they're going to keep doing the same thing. They're going to keep firing up the threes because they live and die by the three. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown both said last night, we could have did a better job of how we ran our offense, and we could have did a better job trying to attack the basket when the three-point ball was going. Y'all said that last night. Y'all can say that. Why did y'all not go out there and do it? It was plenty of times that y'all had to go out there and do it. And they showed glimpses of it, of finally trying to attack the basket late in the game when the game was about over, when it didn't matter no more. Now y'all want to go and try to attack the basket when y'all jump shots not falling. That's just stupid. And to say that after a game, we probably should have did a better job of attacking the rim because our three-point ball wasn't going. Why did y'all not do it? The Boston Celtics was 15 of 60 from three-point range. 15 of 60. That's 25%. Firing up 63s in the NBA game is crazy. That is crazy. Firing up 63s in the NBA game and only hitting 15. Boston missed 45 three-point attempts. That's most in playoff history by a team. Boston. Y'all were on the wrong side of the history last night. Usually you hear that most teams be on the right side of history. Boston was on a complete wrong side of history. See, but Boston also played last night. We had a 20-point lead, third quarter. We played the Knicks good in the regular season all year long. We beat them by an average of 16 points in the regular season all year long. We played them 4 times in the regular season. They got comfortable in the third quarter, and the Knicks capitalized off that. Give the New York Knicks credit. I don't see Boston being this bad for three-point range in the rest of the series, but Boston also has to know when to put their head down and go and attack the basket. Boston, find something else in your offense, Boston. If the three-point ball is not working for the millionth time, you got to attack the basket. Get to the mid-range. Drive to the basket. That'll draw the defense, and then you can kick it out for a three-point shot. You get a better shot instead of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown taking all these contested threes and firing up and hoping and praying it's going to go down. That's all I have for you guys today. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know which team you are concerned most about after game 1. Are you concerned about Boston? Are you concerned about OKC? Are you concerned about Cleveland? And we out of here.